Morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. I have questions. What opens with Jake making peace, trying to make peace, making progress to make peace? And what closes with the Jolly Ranchers attacked with a Walker age, Montezuma's revenge, brought into their ranch by a modern day sort of kind of Trojan horse. If you guessed Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 7, The Unveiling, did I get that right? Well, whatever, the last Walking Dead that came on, Episode 7, yes, because there's another one coming, or it's already come, I just have to watch it. Then you're correct, and if you'd like to see how we got from opening to closing, from my perspective, please stick around. All right, so we see Jake in transit to Walker and the people, and he pulls and shoots a gun on Alicia, who he was not expecting because she followed him and he didn't know that she was following him. Alicia tells Jake about the family, the Trimbles, murdered by Troy, but she is inadvertently spreading the lie that Walker and his people slaughtered the Trimbles. They go together to tribal headquarters, which is a gas station in the center of the community. And Walker says to Jake, "You're about 200 years too late for peace, but just in time for lunch," as he drops the bloody head of a slaughtered animal. Was it a pig or a dog? I think it's a pig, from his apron. And Alicia, she's just so shocked and upset by this savagery. Because she not used to that, because she a good white girl. She ain't seen nothing, just nothing as awful as that. Okay, so then back at the Jolly Ranch, we see Maddie telling Nick Alicia is missing in action. And Nick is like, she probably with Golden Boy Jake. She's a big girl. Let's leave her be. And then Otto comes over. Old man Otto, Jeremiah, walks up. "Have you seen your daughter?" And Otto knows that Jake is missing. But he's not going to go looking because he can't spare another search party to go out. And Nick is like, "Well, point me in the right direction. Am I supposed to sit up here with my thumb up my butt like you?" And then Otto is like, "Oh, feeling strong, son, huh? Troy will get you set up so it's not like we're sending a sheep off to slaughter." So he's about to join the militia, basically. And then we see the sit down with Walker and Jake and Alicia. And Jake is like, "My dad's not going to give up the ranch." And Walker is like, "Well, I'll feed him and the other 3 founding fathers to the crows like I did Phil." Or the other 2 founding fathers to the crows like I did Phil. And then Jake is like, "Well, Russell, he died in a fire. And Trimble is dead too." And Walker is like, "Long overdue karma. Well, I hope Trimble, his death was an illness and it was slow and painful." And Alicia is like, "You killed Trimble with his family. With his family." And then Walker is like, "This girl speaks for you, Jake." And then Jake is like, "I need the violence to stop." And then Walker is like, "It soon will. 3 down, 1 to go." And then Jake, "My father never did anything to you." And then Walker, "Lies! You taste them?" And then Jake, "State police investigated, found no correlation between, The state police investigated," says Jake, "and they found no correlation between." Walker says, "Stop! You are boring me. The days of the white man's court, land grabs, desecration are over. Not serving or cleaning up after you and your drunk friends anymore. Now you have our verdict. The first human's verdict. You must vacate our lands. How about that?" And then Jake is like, "I was hoping to negotiate to spare more loss. A parlay." And then Walker is like, "Well, we can talk about a parlay after we eat." And enter Ophelia. Everybody been wondering about her. I barely remember her, but everybody been, "Oh, where's Ophelia? Where's Ophelia? Where's Ophelia?" The guy at the water station, our man, her daddy. "Where's Ophelia? Where's Ophelia? Here's Ophelia." She and Alicia recognize each other. Then back at the Jolly Ranch, there's some shooting at the range, and Nick approaches Troy, and Troy is like, you here to sign up? You here to sign up? Did you get a note from home? Seriously, does Madison know you're here? And Nick, you want to go ask her? Do you need her permission? And Troy, why you want to join? Nick, I feel bad. You ever do things that make you feel bad? I got Travis killed. Now my sister is missing. I need an occupation. Troy, well, you should leave if you do things that make you feel bad. Don't be too hard on yourself. And then Nick, I want to protect us from the ones who killed the Tremmels. He giving, Troy, baby boy Troy, that eye. They sound like savages. Like, I see you, I know. And then we see Alicia and Ophelia at the tribal headquarters. And Alicia, how'd you get here? Ophelia, oh, it's a long story. Alicia, well, tell it. And then I'll tell you how I tried to find you and almost got killed. How we almost died because you took the truck and the hotel was overrun with walkers. And Ophelia, I thought it was safe. Sorry. I did almost die after that. Taka saved me. These are good people. And then Alicia, these good people killed a family 2 nights ago. One of them was my friend. And Ophelia, nope, no mission 2 nights ago. And then we see Jake, and he's like, we have a parlay. I need you, he's talking to Alicia, to go tell my dad we each have hostages. Walker's word is good. And Alicia, your dad don't know me. You have to convince your dad. He don't even know me. Walker, do we have a parlay or not? Jake, it appears we do. Okay, so then we see Nick. He's cutting his hair with a knife. It looks like a laborious process. And then Madison is watching. She says, do I have to worry? And Nick is like, keep your enemies close, blah, 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 blah. And Maddie, is that what this is? And Jake arriving back with Ophelia. And then Nick and Maddie. Maddie yells, Ophelia! Jake, where's Alicia? And then Jake, she followed me. Now she is their hostage. Ophelia is our hostage. That is the custom. And then Maddie, what kind of barbaric custom is that? Now, of all the barbaric things you done seen and done, now you think that exchanging hostages is a barbaric custom? Miss Maddie, writers, y'all got to do better. How long have you been with Walker? She's talking to Ophelia. Maddie, Ophelia, long enough to know that his word is good. Maddie, Walker is a killer. Said he would kill us if we didn't get off the ranch. Has that changed? And Ophelia, only Jake would know that. And then we see Walker and Alicia at the tribal, headquarters. And they walking and talking, and Walker is like, well, water is precious. We can serve. You'll especially have to do that in the kitchen. And Alicia is like, I won't be here that long. And Walker is like, you'll contribute no matter how long you're here. And then Alicia is like, is a hostage the same as a prisoner? And Walker is talking about their stuff. He's showing off, what they've done. And, we have this helicopter, and we're going to have an Air Force soon. And, some people were in the Army and they were sharpshooters and blah, 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 blah. And he's talking about the white man stealing lots, but we have gotten some things back in trade. And Alicia, she zoomed in on that helicopter. And Alicia is like, I was on this when they shot it down. You killed one of my people, my dad-like figure. And then Walker is like, I'm surprised you survived. I was hoping to kill one of those idols. And then he like, oh, you hate me? Multiply that by 1,000,000. And then you might be able to begin to know how I feel. And Alicia, you are a hypocrite. You don't know how I feel. And then back at the ranch, Jake with old man Otto. Jake, they are out of water. They're ready to take ours. Jeremiah, grasshopper and the ant. Let them come. I'm not giving them a drop. If I give them a drop, they'll want a gallon. Maddie, they have Alicia. Otto, she volunteered. She's an adult. I won't negotiate. I wouldn't piss in Walker's mouth if he was dying of thirst. Okay. And then Walker, and Alicia, and he's showing her some tourist stuff. I guess there was some kind of Native American museum or something, or he started collecting artifacts, but he has them downstairs and he's showing her stuff, and he shows her the head of his great-great-grandfather, and Walker says, I desecrated his grave to rescue him from the Ottos and their fortune hunting ways. I hope to one day be able to put him back. And Alicia, I was thinking that the afterlife makes no sense. It's too hard to get out of this life. And then Walker, you know what apocalypse means. And then Alicia, it means the end of the world. And then Walker, it means great unveiling. When I started collecting relics to save them, I noticed a pattern. Prophecies. What we are going through now. When the land will be shed of the impure. It has been foretold. Land will be returned to the first humans. Okay, so then we see Troy and Maddie. And Troy is like, is Ophelia stupid? And Maddie is like, nope, she's her dad's daughter. She want to be on the winning side. Walker's going to come. We got to help Alicia. You owe me. Help me do this. Plus, that's what you want to do anyway. And then we see Alicia walking free while Ophelia is locked in a pantry. And Otto joins Ophelia and he says, I thought we should have a chat. And Ophelia is like, what do you want? And Otto is like, ghosts carry sins worse than the dead. And Ophelia is like, what do you want? And Otto is like, let's not complicate matters with old business. Fair. And then there's no comment from Ophelia. And he says, say it's fair. That's what Otto says. And then Ophelia is like, fair. And then he's like, I'll bring you some food. And Ophelia's like, I'm not hungry. He's like, I'm going to bring you food anyway, or have somebody bring you food anyway. And then we see Alicia feeding the pigs, and she's grabbed from behind, and her mouth is covered. And it's Troy plus two. It's a rescue party from the Jolly Ranchers. And then there's some people watching with night goggles in the truck. Nick almost gets stabbed, and then the man about to stab him is shot in the head by the Jolly Ranchers. And then the Ranchers have gotten Alicia, and they've left the ranch, and the truck zooms back into the ranch. And Jake is like, you just declared war on Walker's people. Ooh, woo, woo. If you don't leave, and then Jake is like, basically like, I'm going there to try to talk to him. I'm going to take this water. I'm going to try to negotiate. I'm going to try to smooth things over that y'all just jacked up. And meanwhile, Maddie is like telling, old man Otto, this was my call. And Jake is like, you don't make calls here. And Maddie is like, it was the right thing to do because you all are so dumb. You don't know anything. And I know everything. And Alicia was a sitting duck and they were going to kill her and, whatever. Okay. So then we see Ophelia, she talking to Alicia. She like, come with me, Alicia. That's all I can say. I see you. And then Alicia's like, I can't leave. She's like, I see you can't leave. And, I'm sorry about Travis. And then Jake and Ophelia are back at the tribal headquarters. And Jake gets a beat down and he's about to be killed and scalped. And Ophelia is like, Taka. And then Walker is like, he stops and he's like, tell your dad that he will watch me finish scalping you. He will watch me feed his youngest to the hogs. And that's before we burn him alive. Safe travels, sucker, or whatever. And then it's a fly in here. It's stressing me out. And then we see a motorcycle approaching the ranch. And it's like a beat up Ophelia. She's dumped. Like they're, the watchers are like, oh my God, there's action at the gate. There's action at the gate. And then they hold up a flag. They're like, white flag, white flag. And then the motorcycle slows down and they throw Ophelia off. And she's kind of beat up and scraped up. And she's at the ranch and she's like, I lost my people. That's all I know because of you. And these are the people who saved me. And Maddie is like, well, you shouldn't have left us. And then old man Otto is like, take her to the infirmary so we can talk. And then Ophelia. Oh, so then they talk and, they strategize and are trying to analyze and figure out what's going on. Then Ophelia is talking to Maddie and she's like, Alicia was fine. She got a taste of freedom. Am I a prisoner? There are no walls at Walker's camp. Walker says you can't sneak up on an Indian. And Maddie is basically like, well, lucky them. All of the rest of us are prisoners somewhere, somehow. You can stay with me and Alicia. And then we see the militiamen, and they're strategizing. Okay, what are we gonna do? What they gonna do? Okay, nobody can sleep for the next 48 hours. I think offense is the best defense. And Nick is listening to it all, and then he's like, well, what happens if Walker comes while we're on the perimeter? And Jake is like, well, we leave him a suicide note, which basically means somebody who's willing to die or who's gonna die to protect the camp or whatever. And then Nick is like, I'll do it if it comes to that. And Jake is like, you feeling blue? You depressed? I mean, what's up? No, you stay inside the perimeter. And then we're in the cabin with Maddie and Alicia. And Alicia is like, well, is what Walker did worse than what we did? And Maddie is like, yes. And Alicia is like, well, Jake doesn't seem that upset about Phil. But then there are the Trimbles. How are you so sure that Walker killed them? And then it's like nighttime, and the ranchers are watching. They watch. They militia on watch or whatever. And then they don't see anything, and they're nervous, and they feel like something is about to happen. And then one of the guys, and they're like, this don't feel right, and then one of the guys, he starts getting sick. He's like cramping, and he's throwing up, and then it spreads to other people too, or we just see it spread to one person, but we figure it spreads to other people. And then Alicia and Maddie and Ophelia are waking up, and they're hearing screaming and gagging and coughing and carrying on. And then the people have been poisoned. That's what we see. They've been poisoned, and they're turning in the night. So the camp, the Jolly Ranch, is overrun from within by themselves as walkers. And then Nick and Alicia and Maddie, they are all gathered together. They're like, you okay? You okay? And then Nick sees Ophelia, and he calls, Ophelia, Ophelia. And then Ophelia is like, she, books off because she was the one who set everything in motion. And that's what Nick says. Nick says, dang, my phone is doing this thing. Nick says, basically he says, it was Ophelia. And then he starts gagging and throwing up. And so that's end of the episode, I think. Let me see. Yep, Nick goes down with the sickness. So thank you for clicking and sticking around. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, being here. Welcome back. Remember, fabulous ones, today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. You're number one. And you know what I want you to do. Be you. Be fabulous you. And hopefully I'll be back tomorrow to complete this season, this mid-season, half-season finale. Didn't they just come on with the show and now they got the finale in the mid-season? I don't understand. But yeah, and speaking of mid-season mess, we got haves and have-nots tonight. So, anyway, peace, good people.